Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
보이스피싱 전화 올 땐 전화 끊고 확인하기. 택배 주소 오류 사기, 인터넷 주소 클릭한대.
늘 의심하고 꼭 전화 끊고 또 확인하고.
보이스피싱에 눈을 뜨며
예방책이 보입니다.
공익광고협의회.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. A question for you. Do you think you could guess if somebody's rich just by looking at their face? It sounds like almost like a superpower, right? Well, according to recent research coming out of the University of Glasgow, certain facial features are linked to becoming wealthy. They mention having a slim and friendly look can help you on your way to becoming a rich person. Now here's the important question for me. 내가 부자가 될 상인가? 딱 보니까 아닌 것 같습니다.
Your place in this world, your life means something to me. Feels like every Monday's just a day in the week. If you're lonely and it seems like reaching up might break you down, don't go under. And if I could fly, I'll spread my wings in time to free you from these foolish things. And we won't be back for sure. If it's in my mind, it's on my face. Wish I could take you to a better place, but we just might miss your call. No one knows your face in the world. Maybe that's your reason to leave. I think you might be someone that I came to see. You're real. If you feel like waking up, then come around. Be the wonder. Time to free you from these foolish things. just might miss your call. 'Cause we live in the world. We live in the world. We live in the world. We're free in this world. I have made mistakes. I've wasted life. And I've been down, you see. My the friends I had could not make time for me. I have lost my face, I've broken ground. I've been around to know. Follow the loudest voice that waits inside. The time is now. The time is now. Time is now. If I could fly, I'd spread my wings in time to free you from these foolish things, and we won't be back for sure. If it's in my mind, it's on my face. Wish I could take you to a better place, but we just might miss your call. If you can't find your place in this world, your life means something to me. Feels like every Monday's just a day in the week. If you're lonely and it seems like reaching up might break you down, don't go under.
Welcome to the program. This is Inside Busan, and I'm your host, Min Soo Shin. Happy Tuesday evening, everybody. To start off our show, that was Seal with If It's in My Mind, It's in My Face. And that's usually how it is, right? If there's anything that's bothering you, that you're worried about, concerned about, it kind of shows in your face a lot of the times. Or let's say you just have good news, right? Something that you're so excited about that you just can't wait to happen. It shows in the face too. So here in Korea, there's this saying, 관상은 과학이다. Reading faces is a science, right? Now, this is something that I wasn't really aware of when I was living in the U.S. It's not until I came to Korea where even the way people look, I'm not talking about style, I'm talking about like their faces, the structure of their faces, as well as their expressions. It could go about telling like what kind of person, that person is, as well even like what the future holds for that person. So according to recent research coming out of Scotland, research indicates that one can discern the impression of, you seem like a wealthy person based on facial features. So now, according to research, you could tell if a person is wealthy, rich or not, just by looking at their face. So here is what the research entails. A narrow face, clear features, whatever that means, smiling, right? Raised eyebrows, close set eyes, and rosy cheeks give off the impression of being trustworthy, warm, and competent. Basically a reliable and honest person, right? It gives off a very honest and reliable vibe. So if you have face, right, that's perceived as narrower and longer with upturned mouths and lighter, warmer complexions. Okay? 얼굴이 좁고 뚜렷한 이목구비에 웃는 입, 지켜올린 눈썹, 간격이 좁은 눈, 불그레한 뺨, 이런 거 있으면, right, in terms of your facial features and your structures, 부자가 될 얼굴이 될 수 있대요. Okay. So if with these features, according to science coming out of Scotland, they say that you're probably most likely a person who is either one, wealthy or well on your way to becoming a wealthy person. So I was going off those descriptions, right? Narrow face, clear features, smiling mouth, raised eyebrows, close-set eyes, rosy cheeks. I check off none of those. 저는 제 얼굴엔 하나도 없네요. 그래서 저는 안 될 사람입니다. What about you, listeners? Does this kind of describe your face? You know, people see these faces as trustworthy, friendly, and capable. And people with these kinds of, looks in their face, they are said to give off a strong, honest, and dependable vibe. So let's look at some of the wealthiest people, on Earth. And I don't know, like a couple people come to mind, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, right? Two of the richest people on planet Earth. And they are seen to have a very wealthy look. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, like a picture of them comes to mind, right? And they kind of check off a lot of the descriptions that I mentioned. I do believe both have quite narrow faces, especially Mark Zuckerberg. Clear features, I don't think I've seen them smiling as much, but raised eyebrows, close-set eyes, rosy cheeks. Rosy cheeks might be just the makeup, right? But close-set eyes, yeah, I see it. 그래서 제가 궁금해져요. I was looking off the list. Do I have these facial features that suggest I could become wealthy? 내가 부자가 될 상인가? I don't think so. 여러분은 어떠세요? So, which facial features might you have, right, that check off some of this? Or which facial features, in your opinion, do you think make somebody look rich? 여러분은 어떤 얼굴이 부자가 될 얼굴이라고 생각하십니까? 뭐 사람을 예로 들어도 보내도 됩니다. 예를 들어서 이렇게 생긴 사람. 안 그러면 like maybe like a celebrity or a famous person, right? You could say people that look like this, in your opinion, you think are wealthy people or can be wealthy people. I'm really curious. Let me know. Pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 100 won. You can let us know on our Kakao Talk, or you could chat with us over on our YouTube. We have 모모님 saying hello. 안녕하세요, 모모님. As well as 류상효 신경과입니다 on our YouTube saying hello. 원장님, 안녕하십니까? I'll see you soon. All right, let's get to today's news bites. Time for today's news bites with BFM newscaster Kate Shin. Good evening, Kate.
Good evening, Minsu.
All right, so headline-making news from Korea and around the world. All right, first we have more news coming out of North Korea. Let's get to it.
Yes, we do. The Joint Chiefs of Staff announced today that North Korea launched multiple cruise missiles into the West Sea, marking the second launch in 2 days and the third in this month. Mm-hmm. The missiles, presumed to be 불화살 331, were detected at 7 a.m. The military is closely monitoring North Korea's activities, coordinating with the United States and strengthening surveillance and defense. The possibility of inland launches near Pyongyang is being emphasized.
All right. What are the key features as well, if they know the capabilities of these cruise missiles, and how do they differ from the missiles that come before it?
North Korea's recent intensive testing of cruise missiles suggests a focus on enhancing the performance of the new strategic cruise missile, 불화살 331. It is seen as an upgraded version of 화살 1-2, potentially equipped with the tactical nuclear warhead 화산 31. The missile, capable of land, surface ship, and submarine deployment, resembles Russia's Kalibra. Mm-hmm. Its estimated range is up to 2,000 kilometers, and recent launches indicate improvements with flight time surpassing previous tests.
Well, there you go. The latest in terms of details and specifications on North Korea's new cruise missiles. I'm sure our country is going to have a lot to say and a lot to do in terms of trying to countermeasure these new technology from coming out of the north. Thank you so much. What's next?
The Ministry of Public Administration and the Presidential Digital Platform Commission announced plans to achieve zero documentation for over 1,500 civil complaints and public services by 2026.
Okay.
Citizens will be able to apply without submitting documents from other agencies. This initiative aims to eliminate the need for citizens to obtain and submit documents between government entities, breaking down data barriers and promoting information sharing. The government will not request information already held from citizens. The Zero Documentation Initiative starts with 100 types of services in April, focusing on those with high public perception.
All right. So once again, the government continuing to streamline all citizen services being provided by the government and community service centers. So how are they going to push for digitizing these administrative services? How are they going to benefit the citizens? And is it going to enhance overall efficiency?
The government is streamlining administrative processes, eliminating documentation requirements for various services. Infertile couples no longer need to submit multiple documents for treatment subsidies, saving 300,000 cases annually. Similarly, vaccination support and 321 other services will become documentation-free by year-end, with a total of about 1,500 services digitized by 2026.
Okay.
This move aims to enhance efficiency, save 1.2 trillion won annually, and allow officials to focus on more impactful tasks. President Yoon Suk-yeol envisions a seamless, one-stop digital experience for citizens, breaking down ministry barriers.
Yeah. Now, the only thing is that citizens have to get used to having everything digitized. And I'm sure we will. We're pretty quick to adapt to these new types of services. Thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to our next bit of news. We're going to go international this time. What do we have?
The United States has identified Cate Hezbollah as an armed group responsible for the attack on Tower 22 in Jordan, resulting in the death of 3 U.S. soldiers. Cate Hezbollah was organized by Iran in Iraq with the aim of expelling U.S. troops after the 2003 U.S.-led war in Iraq. It is considered the most powerful organization within the Iranian-backed Islamic resistance militant group in Iraq, having conducted over 150 attacks on U.S. military bases in Iraq and Syria since the Israel-Hamas war.
Okay. What are the key factors when it comes to contributing to Hezbollah's notoriety, and how has its involvement shaped the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East?
Cate Hezbollah, formed in the 2000s, gained notoriety for attacks on military targets. It follows Shiite doctrine and opposed the U.S. presence in Iraq. Designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. in 2009, it intensified attacks after the rise of the Islam State of Iraq and Syria, or the ISIS. The group, linked to Iran, controls a sizable area, built weapons, and is part of Iraq's People's Mobilization Forces. Despite being under Iraqi command, it operates independently, resisting U.S. presence.
Okay.
The leader, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, was killed in a 2020 U.S. attack, and Cate Hezbollah is implicated in ongoing conflict and is believed to have political ties.
Well, there you go. Hezbollah behind the attack on Tower 22, which resulted in 3 U.S. soldiers' deaths. Thank you so much for that update. And that will do it for today's News Bites. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Here we go with the song break. This is Psy, New Face.
어딜 쳐다보는 거냐고 솔직히 너 그래 너 생판처 만난 너왜 널 쳐다보는 거냐고 궁금했어 설레서 낯설어서 침착하게 서로 살살 알아볼겠나 오빠 차 핸들 살살 돌려볼겠나 모르는 게 약이야 객관식은 첫눈에 찍는 게 답이야 뜨거운 파이어 너의 맘 나의 맘 사람 새로운 사람 너무 설레어서 어지러워요 만남 새로운 만남 너무 설레어서 미치겠어요 낯선 여자예요 낯선 향기예요 Yes 사람이냐고 아니 올시다 이거 봐봐 눈을 맞춰야 눈이 맞아 지금 작업하는 거냐고 솔직히 yes 그래 yes oh yes 궁합이 떡인지 살살 맞춰볼까나 말하지 않아도 알아맞혀볼까나 알면 병이야 어서 나를 따 너의 맥주병이야 니네 뽕이야 너의 맘 나의 맘 사람 새로운 사람 너무 설레어서 어지러워요 만남 새로운 만남 너무 설레어서 미치겠어요 낯선 여자예요 낯선 향기예요 Yes I want some new face 낯선 여자예요 낯선 향기예요 Yes I want some new face 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 Hey we want some 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 new face 낯선 여자예요 낯선 향기예요 Yes I want some new face 낯선 여자예요 낯선 향기예요 Yes I want some new face Come on New face New face
Psy with New Face. 6:29 here in the studio. Welcome to the program Inside Out Busan. And I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다, 여러분. Let me give you a quick update on the weather and the traffic here in Busan City. Right now, Busan averaging 9 degrees. Tomorrow, expecting morning low of 6 and afternoon highs of 13. So, Busan is expected to have higher temperatures tomorrow, but when it comes to the clouds, expected to be overcast throughout the day with morning rain, and the afternoon will be dominated by thick gray clouds. So not a lot of sunshine tomorrow. 내일 부산은 오전에는 비가 오겠고요. 오후에는 구름이 많겠습니다. Hey, but can't complain about the temperatures, right? It won't be that cold. When it comes to the traffic, let's see. We have congestion over on 낙동북로 from 강서구 Office Junction going towards 후포대교 Junction. There is also 중앙대로 from Junggu Police Station going towards Yeongju Junction, congestion there. Slow-moving traffic on Haeundaero from Samho Garden Junction going towards Olympic Junction. And we have a report of a car breaking down. Specifically, a trailer has broken down. That's on Gwanmundaero from Sujong Bangum Tunnel going towards Baegang Tunnel. That broke down near the Kaya overpass. So that's why there might be a bit of traffic there. Okay, everybody? Drive safe. 안전운전 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, so do you have a face of a wealthy person? You might. According to findings from a university in Scotland, right? They have found that people with more narrow faces, smiley upturned mouths. I don't even know what that means. What's a smiley upturned mouth? So basically a person that's smiling, even if they're like at a resting face, they're smiling. Raised eyebrows, closely spaced eyes, and a light, warmer complexion, so like rosy cheeks, looked wealthier compared to other people. Okay? Now, according to the research, people also associated these facial features with trustworthiness, competence, and warmth. So I have none of those features. So does that mean I am the complete opposite? I am never going to be a wealthy person. I am not trustworthy, competent, or warm. I think I check off like warmer complexion, okay? Because folks, this tan, I had to work on for a couple of years, all right? So that's the only thing I could check off. But everything else, not me. So when you think of these characteristics, I think they find people like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos. Those are some people that come to mind when it comes to, the description that I just gave of looks, right, of a person, specifically in their face, that make them look like a wealthy person. And they are wealthy people, right? Well, according to, that's, two examples. So I wanted to find out from you, what kind of person do you consider to look like that you think, oh, that person's got to be wealthy. 저 사람은 분명히 부자일 거야. 성공한 사람일 거야. Okay? So we have 모모님 saying 웃는 얼굴상이 돈도 사람도 부르는 것 같아요. So a person, like even at their resting face, they're not like on purpose smiling, but even just a resting face, they have like a natural kind of smile or like a happy face. And 모모님 thinks, with a face like that, not only do you attract, people to you, it does make you a bit more accessible to people. They're going to look at you and they go, like that's a person I could approach, right? And maybe be less embarrassed or less afraid to 말 걸어, right? Maybe strike up a conversation. So you think people like that, basically it's a magnet for people as well as a magnet for money. 그런 얼굴 있으면 돈도 많이 들어온다 생각하네요. 저도 좀 웃는 상이라고 생각하거든요. Right? I do try to come off as a pleasant person. Not working for me. I don't know what kind of 웃는 상 I have to have. Let's ask Haley, who is here in the studio. Hi, Haley.
Hello, hello.
Let me give you the mic.
I'm here.
What kind of person to you looks like a wealthy person?
See, I would think the opposite. So instead of a narrow face, I would think someone with a rounder face would be wealthier.
I agree.
Yeah, and then I was thinking about, because, older people like the whole kwansang, the face reading thing.
Yeah.
There's something about ears. If you have like larger earlobes, like the Buddha's ears, like 부처님, I think that was a thing. It like brings in luck.
Really?
Yeah. Let me see. I mean, they're wide.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're, quite,
See, like if you're like, so if you're, that's what I heard too. Somebody said if your earlobes,
Just kind of
if you
hang
flick
down.
them,
Yeah.
and they don't like dangle as much, then like you're not considered to have large earlobes.
I mean, that's a genetic thing. I think that's one of the things that we learned in school. Like the alleles.
So is wealth and success genetic?
Dude,
Haley?
just go get some dangly earrings and droop your earlobes
Yeah,
down.
여러분
Yeah.
오늘부터
공부해요. 우리 귀걸이 공부하면 돼요.
네, start stretching, right? Start tugging at your earlobes. 네, 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. You have bigger earlobes. So, but like in your personal opinion, do you like look at certain people, or do maybe they have like a similar, I don't know, face structure, looks, just complex about them that make you go, like that person would like a wealthy person.
Like their eyes, like how
Okay.
they sparkle. It's not about the shape or color or anything, but it's just like, someone's eyes, they sometimes have a certain sparkle
Yeah.
to it, regardless of age. It's like, they're very lively. They look alive. Yeah.
I agree. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos has that sparkle?
I mean, okay, I'll say this.
네.
Like, they are very pale. So I don't know
Yeah.
what about the warm, complexion.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe just a dash of like blush on their cheeks.
Maybe.
Right? When they go out in public, that's
maybe they're
what.
just not wearing their colors. Who knows?
맞아, but both of them do have narrow faces.
I also don't want to say anything bad about them because of all the people to have, not on my side. I think some of the richest people in the world will be, it would be them.
Oh, they're listening for
Yeah,
sure.
and they're listening, and they're taking my name down.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that Haley.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, he has what?
She called me pale.
Doesn't he own all the apps?
He
right?
does. Basically, he
And
owns
Jeff
apps.
Bezos,
Yes.
doesn't he have all the technology?
The internet. He owns the
Okay.
internet.
They
Yeah.
know you, Haley, so careful what you say. But listeners, you don't have to be careful, right? Because Mark
We'll
Zuckerberg
take
or
the
Jeff
blame.
Bezos don't have access to you. So let us know what kind of person, or maybe what kind of face a person might have. Describe that face for me that you think are wealthy people. Let's get to today's 5분 상식. Time for today's 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간입니다. 네, 최근 안표와의 전쟁으로 등장한 NFT 티켓, 이거 대해 알아보도록 하겠습니다.
Oh my god, Minsu. Guess what? I finally got tickets to 장범준 small concert. 봄바람이 날리며.
그래. 근데 Haley, I think there might be a problem.
What?
Someone has been selling scalpers tickets and the entire concert 취소됐대. It's canceled.
No, it's not. No, you're lying.
아니야.
No way. No. Are you serious? I worked so hard to get these tickets. No.
그치, 짜증나지. I know it's frustrating. 하지만 진짜 안표 때문에 취소됐대.
Dude, no, it took me forever. Seriously, the competition was insane. I had to fight 1,000 people. I literally fought them, like physically fought them or in line, but you can't just cancel a concert.
Now, I heard that Jang Bom-jun and his team, they're actively working on a solution. He's exploring the use of NFT tickets to prevent ticket scalping. I promise we're going to hear about the concert tickets again soon, so don't worry.
What's an NFT? NFL, like football? NFT? What's that? I mean, I don't care. It's just unfair. I have to wait again. I don't have 3 hours to wait. Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
그래, I know you really want to meet Jang Bom-jun, oppa to you. But Haley, I have a surprise. I've invited someone to lift your spirits.
누구?
그 노래 가사 뭐였지? 아니 다시 그대여 흔들리는 꽃들 속에서 네 샴푸 향이 느껴진 거야.
하지 마라. 그 노래도 아니거든. 하지 마라. 나 하지 마라 했다 분명히. It's not. Do you think it's funny? The only funny thing is your voice. It's not funny. I've had enough.
사람들이 나 장범준을 좀 목소리 비슷하고 했는데.
하지 말라고.
순간 가사를 깜빡하고 가사 여기 있는데 이거 멜로디 어떻게 갔지? 이제 방금 생각. 흔들리는 꽃들 속에서 네 샴푸 향이 느껴진 거야.
내가 하지 말라고 했지. 그만하라고.
네. 근데 Haley 진짜 장범준 좋아하세요?
I really do like him.
저도 좋아하거든요.
Yeah.
But I would be devastated if I found out, a concert was canceled because people were selling fake tickets, right?
Oh my gosh.
So, NFT ticket. NFT ticket이 대체 무엇입니까?
All right, so NFTs are kind of the hot thing right now. They've been for several years. So it stands for non-fungible tokens. They're digital asset tickets that are stored and managed on the blockchain. So recently it made headlines because singer Jang Bom-jun used these NFT tickets to stop scalp tickets for his concert. 최근 이거 들어보신 분들도 계실 텐데요. 장범준 가수가 콘서트 티켓 안표 거래를 차단하기 위해서 NFT 티켓을 발행해서 화제가 됐습니다. So because it operates on the blockchain technology, it is secure and it has a verifiable proof of ownership. So the digital ticket allows you to access the concert and also maybe may have some exclusive perks or contents.
Okay. Wow, 장범준 using this type of technology for his concerts.
It's fancy,
Yeah,
right?
fancy indeed. So how does using NFT tickets, how does it help with the scalping issue? 이를 활용해서 안표 문제를 어떻게 해결할 수 있습니까?
Well, if you think about the paper tickets, it's kind of easy to forge, right? You can just photocopy it on fancy paper, or even mobile tickets. If you take a screenshot of it, they're easy to forge. But because NFTs, they're hard to. They let us track the real owner. So there's like a whole history on the blockchain. This technology can also stop the use of macros, these kind of automatic programs that'll bulk buy tickets and then put them up for resale. So it'll keep the false listings or fake listings at bay. So therefore, there have been instances where NFT tickets were sold for previous events like the Bruno Mars concerts and the Busan International Film Festival. Yeah.
Fancy, right? So basically now you're going to be walking into concert halls and venues just flashing your phone.
Yep, with my NFT tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be able to get in.
See, I miss the days when, because you know, like you go to concerts and you like save that ticket stub.
Oh, the ticket stub?
And then you like put it in your box or like you frame it or something. I think I still have ticket stubs from like concerts I went to when I was in college.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but
Is that when you had to line up in front of the bank to get the tickets?
No, I mean, it was not that long ago, Haley. I bought them online, okay?
Are you sure?
I bought them online.
Using a modem dial-up internet?
No, I bought them online over my cable internet, okay? And those tickets came in the mail. I had to wait 2 weeks for them.
Snail mail?
But
Yep.
still, they
Hey,
came. All
I
right.
get it. I get it.
근데 요즘 very high tech NFT non-fungible token 티켓요. 블록체인의 주요 내용을 저장해 관리하는 디지털 자산 티켓이라고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
오 그래 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 온 신참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병.
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
TMI Busan.
Time for TMI Busan with Miss TMI, Queen TMI of BFM with Haley continuing to be with us here in the
Hello,
studio.
hello.
Hi, Haley. We have messages coming in from 예나님 over on our YouTube. 흔들리는 꽃들 속에서 맞아 흔들리는 꽃들 속에서. Speaking of 장범준, I went to Yeosu over the weekend.
You did?
Yeah, and I was expecting, all right, 장범준 probably.
He's just going to be
Like-
on the beach singing 여수 밤바다.
I was like, "Where's 장범준? Where's 장범준?" And I think we did a circle around the whole place, and he wasn't there. But there were like banners all over the city, all
About
over Yeosu
the
saying,
sea, the
yeah,
ocean.
우리 뭐지 여수 아들 뭐 장범준. He's not even from there,
He's
right?
not from Yeosu, right?
Yeah, like saying they saved, he saved the area. But it's nice that a whole just place dedicates, all the success that they've
It's
seen
lovely.
to one person. But Yana says, in college, the tickets were written on stone.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Back in Minsu's day, during the
You and I,
Flintstone.
we're not too much. There's not too wide of a gap, all right? The gap between me and Yana, she's my cousin, by the way. It's pretty big, 12 years. But 그래도 I had internet back then, all right, in college. Okay, I bought stuff online. But I still had to wait 2 to 3 weeks for it
like
to come in mail.
VHS tapes, and,
See, there's a good amount of people that don't remember VHS tapes or even CDs.
Well,
Computers
that
don't
makes
even
me
have CD
sad.
drives these days. Did you
Okay,
realize
are
that?
these people walking and talking? Are they functional human beings or are they infants? Because if it's that, I'll understand.
그래 말이에요.
We're dating ourselves.
맞아요.
Anywho,
Time for TMI, but good TMI coming out of Busan City. Haley's going to fill us in on what do you got for us today?
indeed. So let me ask you, who does the bulk of grocery shopping at your place, at your home? You, your wife, your daughter? I mean, do you have a steady diet of chocolate and cereal because your daughter does the grocery shopping?
I mean, we always have to ask her what she wants, but I think it's split down the middle. Like whoever has whoever has view or access to our refrigerator and our cabinets and has the time to go through and see what we're missing or see what we're short on.
Well, then,
Yeah.
do you know when large grocery stores are closed?
Oh yeah, the second and fourth Sundays of
Ding,
every
ding,
month,
ding,
right?
ding. There's a xylophone over there. Let's
맞아요.
just pretend I rang
왜냐면
it. Yes, indeed. So it's all
First
about that.
Yeah, it's because when I first came to Busan, I remember I went to stores many a Sundays
Yep.
in which they were closed.
Yep. So, by law, larger supermarkets, they do have to close their doors every second and fourth Sunday. Don't be like Minsu, don't be like me, and just go and be like, what? But the law also says that local governments, they can pass ordinances to change this mandatory closure date.
Oh.
So, for instance, last year, Daegu City became the first to change the date from Sunday to Mondays. And Seocho District in Seoul also changed the day to Wednesdays. Yeah.
Wednesdays are random.
Wednesdays are totally random, but I think that's the point because you're less likely to go. I believe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. And then Thursdays and Fridays, you're kind of looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe. So in Busan, there's a movement. So we might see some changes. For instance, Suyang District is looking into doing that.
My district.
That's hey, there we go. And this is actually a really good example of kind of mutual coexistence between traditional markets and large supermarkets. Because as you remember, the whole point of these 2 Sunday closures is so that traditional markets would be able to get people in on those dates.
Yeah.
However, the times have changed, and instead of competing with each other, they're all competing for or competing against e-commerce giants. So I think the business people of Suyang District's traditional markets recognize this. So if they have the larger physical stores open on weekends, they believe that it'll bring just more foot traffic to the area, thus, some spillover into the traditional markets.
Yeah. It's like the idea, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So the thing is, not all parties across Busan see eye to eye on the issue. For example, in Haeundae, their situation is a bit different because the Haeundae Sijang, the Haeundae traditional markets, they do get a steady flow of tourists regardless of what day it is. So they actually still see the larger grocery chains as kind of a competition.
Okay.
So so we'll have to see if, but thankfully these are all by districts and counties. So, each district will have to figure out what works for them. And the thing is though, from the larger supermarket chain's perspective, you'd think they would be for opening on Sundays. But if you think about it from the workers' perspective, this is their legally mandated holiday.
Yeah.
However, if they are open every single Sunday, someone will have to come in and work. So there's a lot of things to figure out. However, changes might be coming. We shall see.
Yeah. So, but until then, folks, don't be like me. I would definitely, if it's like a Sunday, I would double check, go online, search the store or market that you're going to and make sure it's open, right? It's like second nature to me now.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna go out, even like on Saturdays sometimes, like I find myself, like I know where the place is, I know their hours, but just in case.
But fool you once, shame on them, fool you twice.
Exactly.
Shame on you.
Shame, and twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times. A couple more times after that. Nice. All right. Thank you so much for letting us know. What's next?
All right. We're going to talk about the Gwangalli drone show, which you remember the whole fiasco on New Year's Day with the cancellation. They're going to try to prevent this from happening. How? They're going to shut down the public Wi-Fi. Yeah, which I'm like, that's an interesting approach, but it's only for larger shows, which would be on New Year's Day, for the upcoming Lunar New Year, and on Chuseok.
Okay.
And that's when they have, I believe, almost double the number of drones and just way more people than usual. So going back to the January 1st issue, because so many people had logged on to the public Wi-Fi, especially the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network, and this is used by foreign visitors mostly who don't have access to data plans in Korea. So the plan is to block access to the 5 gigahertz public Wi-Fi 3 hours before the show and an hour after.
Okay.
So keep in mind that only the 5 gigahertz network will be blocked. So the 2.8 gigahertz, it'll still be, in usage. So you'll still be able to get on Wi-Fi, contact your friends and everything, but speed might be a little slower. So speaking of which, the district is planning a 2,000 device drone show for the Lunar New Year Sunday, I believe. Yeah, so it'll be the test of that.
I don't think I've ever used the free public Wi-Fi over there.
Well, I think it's because you and I do have data plans.
Yeah.
But I think when my American friend was in town, she did.
Oh,
we did use the public Wi-Fi access quite a bit.
Yeah. Because especially, like you said, all the traffic, all the people using that Wi-Fi when they do gather, right? And it is kind of surprising to hear that, the drone system is also going to be, I guess, it's maybe like, I don't know if it's dependent on that Wi-Fi or if they have their own system.
Judging from what happened on New Year's Day, it is dependent. Must be, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe for some of our listeners, if you could keep in mind, if you're going to visit Gwangalli and check out the drone shows, maybe not busting out your phone or everybody in your family busting out the phone.
Yeah.
It'll help with the communication between the computer and the drones. What's next?
All right, moving on. The Busan Global Village is opening up their English Studies Support Center, and that's for elementary and middle school students. So this is a free service for students in Busan to get a level test on where your English level stands and also get consultations on how to approach your English studies. So, the whole point is that these services, they are available at some fancy private academies, but here it's free.
My favorite word.
Exactly. So the city ran a test program at the end of last year. It was so popular, they're going to offer the services officially. So students can get tested on their speaking ability and grammar ability, or if they choose, they can only be tested on their speaking ability. The test will take about an hour. It's open to any elementary or middle school student in Busan, and go to www.bgv, so that's Busan Global Village, .co.kr. So after it settles in, it'll be expanded to younger children in kindergarten and younger age. So
Yeah, I think it's good to know maybe before, because I know there's like a lot of like academies, and maybe even some schools do this. They do take into consideration the level of students, their English, and sometimes it's like you either have to pay for it, it's like a whole day thing. So if you could stop by the Busan Global Village, and they being one of the more known English authority, institutes here in Busan City, if they were to give like a level grade or like a rating for their English.
And I do like that it's not just testing.
Yeah.
They will sit down with you and kind of guide you through, well, you did well here, but you can also improve on this, and this is how you go about doing it.
맞아요.
Yeah, great place. I was there 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
They have a library.
Oh, you go to library?
I read. I am literate. Surprise. Slow clap.
I'm just kidding. No, I know Haley reads. It's because I don't, all right? I like to turn my flaws around and put the blame on other people. What's next,
Can
Haley?
I throw you a TMI that I read today?
What?
On average, Busan citizens checked out a little over 2 books last year.
In the whole
library.
year?
Yeah, in the whole year. So, I mean, that's everyone divided by, or that's the number of books checked out divided by everyone in Busan, which is like 3.3 million. So, I mean, the actual book checker outers did check out more. But yeah.
그래도
Yeah.
I'm less than average. I can't even say I checked out 1 book, right? I mean, I have books at home, and I haven't even picked those up.
Yeah, those are for decoration mostly. Yeah.
Exactly. I just like the smell of paper. Let's move on to our last bit of news real quick.
All right, moving on. It's been kind of nice, and if your kids are going stir crazy because it's vacation time, I've got a couple places where you can take them. Number 1, the Busan International Kids Art Fair, the BIKAF. They're actually extending their run through February 4th. So that's because it's all going on at the Cinema Center at Biff Hill. It's been so popular. This showcases hundreds of works by child and teenage artists, and they will actually give you a tour of their own works, and you can see their live drawing
nice.
shows.
Like the kids there are actually there, and they explain to...
Yeah, the artists are
visitors?
there explaining their works to us all. Also, speaking of extensions, the Chunggu's Winter Lights Festival, it'll be extended through the end of the Lunar New Year holidays. So if you have out-of-towners, or if you're just looking for a nice leisurely walk, because during the Lunar New Year holidays, almost all public schools are open and public institutions' parking lots are open for parking. So it's much, much easier to get around. So if you want to just shimmy over and walk through Old Downtown, it'll be pretty.
Yeah, it sounds like
It'll
a
be
nice
very pretty at
time
night.
out with the family.
Indeed.
All right, so lots of TMI. Haley, thank you so much for all the information. You have yourself a good night. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
See ya.
All right. And that'll do it for our number 1 of 인싸의학 Busan. I'll see you back here at 7. To take us out, this is 장기와 얼굴들. 그건 네 생각이고.
이 길이 내 길인 줄 아는 게 아니라 그냥 길이 그냥 거기 있으니까 가는 거야. 원래부터 내 길이 있는 게 아니라 가다 보면 어찌 내 길이 되는 거야. 이 길이 내 길인 줄 아는 게 아니라 그냥 길이 그냥 거기 있으니까 가는 거야. 원래부터 내 길이 있는 게 아니라 가다 보면 어찌 내 길이 되는 거야. 내가 너로 살아봤냐? 아니잖아. 네가 나로 살아봤냐? 아니잖아. 걔네가 너로 살아봤냐? 아니잖아. 아니면 네가 걔네로 살아봤냐? 아니잖아. 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 그냥 네 갈 길 가. 이 사람 저 사람 이러쿵저러쿵 뭐라 해도 상관 말고 그냥 네 갈 길 가. 미주알 고주알 친절히 설명을 조곤 해도 못 알아들으면 이렇게 말해버려. 그건 네 생각이고 아니 그건 네 생각이고 아니 그건 네 생각이고 알았어 뭔 말인지 알겠지만은 그건 네 생각이고 네 생각이고 네 생각이고 이 길이 내 길인지 네 길인지 길이기는 길인지 지름길인지 돌아가는 길인지는 나도 몰라 너도 몰라 결국에는 아무도 몰라. 그때의 머리 위로 뛰어다니는 것처럼 보이는 사람도 너처럼 아무것도 몰라. 그냥 네 갈 길 가. 이 사람 저 사람 이러쿵저러쿵 뭐라 해도 상관 말고
가성비 좋은 간식 맛집 찾으세요. 맛있는 간식, 색다른 간식, 슈림프 스낵 랩 주세요. 맛있게 먹고 부담도 없는 가성비 간식 맛집은 해피스낵. 맥도날드에서 만나보세요.
잉글리시 팬리 3 부산을 위해 올스타들이 뭉쳤다. 영어하기 편한 도시 퓨전 선포식과 함께 부산영어방송이 선보이는 야심찬 새 프로그램 레전드 가수 김조한의 올스타 잉글리시 제작 발표회에 여러분을 초대합니다. 2월 6일 화요일 오후 2시부터 광안리 밀락더 마켓에서 이 밤의 끝을 잡고 기억나시죠? R&B의 황제 김조한의 미니 콘서트와 저를 포함한 새로운 스타들이 함께하는 특별한 순간을 만나보세요. 참가 신청은 부산영어방송 홈페이지에서 할 수 있습니다. 이 행사는 부산광역시와 부산영어방송이 함께합니다. 2월 6일 화요일 광안리 밀락더 마켓에서 만나요.
김밥가게 박 사장님도 문구점 김 사장님도 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 아웃 부산. 인사이드 아웃 부산.
Welcome. This is Inside Out Busan's second hour of our show, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Good evening to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, messages coming in. We have a message from Yenanim on our YouTube saying, what are you drinking? I'm drinking this drink. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called H2O. 그냥 물이에요. 재미없죠. 네. Yeah, drink more water, everybody. Also, we have 류상원 원장님 coming in just a little bit, but messages. We have 토끼님 노래 그거 아닌데 그쵸? 토끼님 저도 순간 장범준 그 노래 알거든요. 나나나나나나나나 아는데 like 꽁트 하면서 그 순간 그냥 깜빡했어요. 멜로디 뭐였지? 그럴 때도 있잖아요. 죄송합니다, 장범준 씨. 네. All right, so second hour of our show, we're going to kick things off with On the Mic. This is a segment where we get to share the stories about you, the citizens of Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
안녕하세요, 제니입니다. 네, 여러분, 오늘은 제가 마트에서 일하고 계신 마트 캐셔님을 모시고 오늘 인터뷰 진행해 보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 저는 남구에 있는 마트에서 일하고 있는 이경화라고 합니다.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. 네, 마트에서 일을 하고 계신다고 하셨는데 어떤 계기로 이 일을 처음 시작하게 되셨나요?
좀 가업 같은 느낌이긴 한데요.
네.
사실 저희 언니가 운영하는 마트예요. 원래는 그냥 주부로 있었는데 언니가 좀 도와달라고 해서 좀 시작하게 됐습니다.
아, 그렇군요. 그렇다면 이 대형 마트와는 좀 다른 동네 마트만의 매력이 있다면요?
아무래도 동네니까
네.
자주 오시는 분들을 만나잖아요.
그쵸.
좀 이웃집, 옆집 같은 그런 느낌? 그래서 자주 만나는 분들하고는 인사도 하고
네.
서로 뭐 안부도 물어보고
네.
좀 그런 경우가 많은 것 같아요.
아, 그렇군요. 그쵸. 대형마트나 이런 곳은 사실 늘 새로운 사람들로 가득한 곳이다 보니 뭐 안부를 묻는다든지 이야기를 나눌 그럴 상황은 좀 잘 만들어지지 않는 것 같은데 이런 일반 동네 마트나 작은 마트들은 이런 점이 좀 장점인 것 같습니다. 이 일을 하시면서 어떤 순간이 좀 가장 힘들게 느껴지시는지 궁금합니다.
힘들다기보다는 좀 어디나 있는 그런 진상 같은 분들이 좀 가끔 계세요. 그리고 또 가끔은 학생들이 술, 담배를 사러 오는 경우가 있는데 저희는 보면 알거든요.
그쵸.
근데 대형마트나 편의점 이런 곳에서는 철저히 검사하면 다 응하는데 저희 같은 마트에서는 그걸 보자고 하면 잘 응해주질 않아요. 그리고 이제 달라고 하면 자기네가 오히려 짜증내고 화내고 막 그러면서 간 경우가 있는데 그런 경우는 좀 마음이 안 좋죠.
아, 그쵸. 아, 그런 경우가 또 있을 수가 있겠군요. 사실 대형 마트나 말씀하신 것처럼 이런 편의점 같은 데는 뭐 신분증을 보여달라고 하거나 미성년자의 경우에는 이렇게 판매를 거절을 할 수도 있는데 그렇게 했을 경우에는 크게 뭐 어떤 일이나 사건이 발생하지 않지만 이런 작은 마트에서는 이런 일이 생겼을 때 뭐 화를 내기도 하고 짜증을 내기도 하는 이런 경우가 있을 수 있는 것 같네요. 이런 경우가 또 가장 힘들다고 하셨는데 그렇다면요. 이런 힘든 일들 말고 또 기억에 남는 어떤 다른 에피소드가 있는지도 궁금합니다.
좀 오래전 일이기는 한데 제가 처음 이제 일을 할 때인데
네.
이 주변에 아파트가 많다 보니까 뭐 명절이라든지 이럴 때 이제 할머니 댁에 온다든지 이런 아이들도 많아요.
네.
근데 이제 어떤 이제 작은 초등학교 저학년쯤 되어 보이는 아이가 놀다가 이제 할머니 댁을 잃어버렸나 봐요. 돌아다니다 결국은 울면서 우리 마트로 온 거예요. 그래가지고 이제 저녁은 다 되었는데 애는 울고 하니까 막 이제 달래주면서 부모님한테 연락을 하고 또 과자랑 이제 여기 먹을 거 많으니까 그거 주면서 이렇게 달래주고 있다가 부모님이 오실 때까지 기다려서 이제 부모를 찾은 그런 기억이 있어요. 근데 요즘은 너무 이제 무서운 사건들도 많고 하니까
그쵸.
그런 사건을 접할 때마다 그때 일이 생각이 나요.
이제 저희의 마지막 질문입니다. 이제 새해잖아요. 그래서 올해 2024년 바라시는 어떤 소망이 있다면 무엇인지 궁금합니다.
아무래도 새해니까 저희 가족들이 모두 건강하길 바라고
네.
또 이제 제가 여기 있다 보니까 오시는 단골분들 자주 만났으면 좋겠고 모두
네.
건강하게
네.
다 같이 행복했으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 너무 좋습니다. 말씀하신 것처럼 올해 새해 그리고 앞으로 영원히 모두 건강하고 또 행복하고 우리 사장님도 늘 건강하시길 바라겠습니다. 오늘 인터뷰 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
A big thank you to our reporter Jenny for today's On the Mic, having a lovely conversation with today's interviewee, Miss Lee Kyung-hwa, who right now works as a cashier at a local supermarket. She mentioned she, was just living a regular life as a stay-at-home mom, 주부, but now at her sister's suggestion works as a cashier at a supermarket. Actually, her sister's supermarket. Why don't you come work for me, right? Now, she shared with us the charm of neighborhood supermarkets. This is something I completely agree on. The charm lies in just being able to, exchange greetings at the supermarket. I'm not just talking about, the 사장님 or the, 알바 or the 사모님 that you see every day when you go to the supermarket, but even like your neighbors over there, right? You meet, you say hello, maybe even have a nice chat, or you share stories with your neighbors and other locals who frequent the store. I myself have, a number of people that I 인사해 too at the store, that I greet at the store, because I've seen them so many times, and I know they live around here. I know they're part of my community. This is something that you can't really do at, let's say, one of those larger supermarkets. Me and Haley, we were talking about how more of these larger chain supermarkets might be open more often, even on Sundays where they usually close. But, you go and your sole focus is on just buying what you want to buy, what you need to get, and then you're out of there. But the charm of the neighborhood, your local smaller supermarkets are, you just go and then you have the opportunity to socialize, and exchange with people. And I think that's great. She did mention, though, the hardships that comes with the job, dealing with tough customers, especially the underage ones, trying to buy alcohol or maybe even cigarettes. They know, all right? So maybe some of you that might be listening out there that, I'm sure all of our listeners are 착한, people. They're very nice. They stick to the rules. They know the laws. Yeah, let's not try to fool our, local market cashiers or anybody working there. They know. Let's not make things hard on them, all right? Lastly, she mentioned she hopes her family and all the regulars at the supermarket continue to stay healthy and happy in the new year, in 2024. So a big thank you to 우리 이경화님, today's interviewee, and a big thank you to our reporter Jenny for today's On the Mic. 감사합니다. 수고했습니다. We are going to take a song break. You know what? I feel so bad for butchering the 장범준 line that I was supposed to sing properly. 꽁투에서. 제가 장범준 씨한테 너무 실수한 것 같아서요. 우리 장범준 노래 하나 듣겠습니다. My favorite, actually, song of his, 잠이 오질 않네요.
당신은 날 설레게 만들어 조용한 내 마음 자꾸만 춤추게 얼마나 날 떨리게 하는지 당신이 밤을 항상 잠 못 들게 매일 같은 밤 너를 생각하면서 유치한 노래를 들으며 심장이 춤을 추면서 난 너를 기다리면서 유치한 노래를 부르며 심장이 춤을 추면서 나를 떨리게 하나요 그대 왜 나를 설레게 하나요 자꾸만 오늘도 잠 못 이루는 이 밤 아름다운 그대 나를 아프게 하나요 웃는 그대 왜 자꾸 설레게 하나요 하염없이 오늘 밤 잠이 오질 않네요 보고 싶은 그대 당신이 날 힘들게 만들어 갑자기 내 마음 자꾸만 멍들게 얼마나 잠 못 들게 하는지 고요한 내 마음 항상 시끄럽게 매일 같은 밤 너를 생각하면서 유치한 노래를 들으며 심장이 춤을 추면서 난 너를 기다리면서 유치한 노래를 부르며 심장이 춤을 추면서 나를 떨리게 하나요 그대 왜 나를 설레게 하나요 자꾸만 오늘도 잠 못 이루는 이 밤 아름다운 그대 나를 아프게 하나요 웃는 그대 왜 자꾸 설레게 하나요 하염없이 오늘 밤 잠이 오질 않네요 보고 싶은 그대요 매일 밤 너를 생각하면서 유치한 노래를 들으며 심장이 춤을 추면서 난 널 기다리면서 유치한 노래를 부르며 심장이 춤을 추면서 나를 떨리게 하나요 그대 왜 나를 설레게 하나요 자꾸만 오늘도 잠 못 이루는 이 밤 아름다운 그대여 나를 아프게 하나요 웃는 그대 왜 자꾸 설레게 하나요 하염없이 오늘 밤 잠이 오질 않네요 보고 싶은 그대여
Small businesses are the engine of the local economy, and the Korea Broadcast Advertising Corporation, KOBACO, provides financial support for these small businesses to create and broadcast on-air advertisements. Businesses can get up to 9 million won, and applications are open from January 29th to February 22nd at 4 p.m. For details, please visit kobaco.co.kr. We ask for your participation and interest from small business owners.
한국방송광고진흥공사에서는 지역 경제 원동력인 소상공인을 대상으로 방송 광고 제작비와 송출비를 지원하고 있습니다. 최대 900만 원까지 지원 가능하며 신청 기간은 1월 29일부터 2월 22일 오후 4시까지입니다. 자세한 사항은 코바코 홈페이지를 참조하시기 바랍니다. 관심 있는 소상공인 여러분의 많은 참여 바랍니다.
Welcome back, everybody. The time is now 7:15 here in the studio. Welcome to hour number 2 of 인싸의학 Busan. 역시 노래 잘 부르는 오빠 노래 틀니까 바로 반응이 들어옵니다. 토끼님, 와 역시 노래 잘 부르면 오빠라고 부르고 싶네요. 장범준 오빠 짱. You know, I did hear when I sing, I do sound a little bit like 장범준. 죄송합니다. 네, I do apologize. Jokes, right? I kid. 또 우리 장범준 씨한테 또 제가 미안하네요. Let me give you a quick update on the traffic as well as the weather. First and foremost, here in Busan City, we are currently averaging 9 degrees. So tomorrow's forecast here in Busan includes day-long clouds covering the city with morning showers. 네, expect a morning low of 6 degrees and afternoon highs of 13. As we head into the afternoon, expect the sky to be enveloped by a blanket of gray clouds. 그래서 네, 내일 좀 날씨 보고 살짝 우울해질 수도 있어요. Not a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Those in southern provinces need to brace for frequent rain for the next few days. 내일만 비 오는 게 아니라 네, 여기저기 계속 비 올 수도 있습니다. 이번 주. 내일은 부산은 오전에 비가 오겠고요. 오후에는 흐리겠습니다. 이거 보세요. 제가 그냥 조크로 제가 좀 장범준 아티스트랑 목소리 비슷하고 하니까 바로 얘나 야익스 가보자고 님 야익스 Just a joke, okay? 조크였어요. 죄송해요. I apologize. I'm sorry. All right? I won't say something like that ever again. 근데 제가 잘못하긴 했습니다. Let me give you an update on the traffic. We have congestion on Dongsa Overpass from Gamjeon Interchange going towards the city center. There's also congestion on Chungnyeoldaero from Dongle Junction going towards Naesung Junction. Slow-moving traffic on Pansonglo from Yeonsan Junction going towards Gwajeong Junction. We have a report of an accident, unfortunately, a two-car collision. This happened on 백양대로 from 개금 초등학교 going towards 개금 주공 아파트 junction. Everybody drive safe. 안전운전 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, so today, according to science, there might be a certain look. I'm not talking about style. Like how a person looks in their face that might give off the fact that they are rich or wealthy / successful. So according to this research, if you have narrow set eyes, close set eyes, right? Eyes that are a little on the closer side. If you have narrow face, if you have light complexion with rosy like cheeks, right? You might be a person that to other people when they look at you, 저 사람 분명히 부자일 거야. 저 사람 아마 성공한 사람일 거야. Those are, the traits that supposedly wealthy people have. Now, I was looking at this, I have in my mind right now, I could picture a couple of friends, a couple of acquaintances that do fit this description. I know they're successful. They're successful in various ways, right? But I don't know if it's only monetary or financial wealth that they're talking about here. So the examples that they gave, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, those two are some of the richest people on planet Earth, right? So I was looking at it. If they're only looking at financial success, then the people I'm thinking of, I don't think they would fit because they're not on the level of Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. I think it all depends just on your your taste and your preferences when it comes to this image that you have in your mind of what a successful person looks like, right? So for instance, we had 모모님 early on our show saying 웃는 상, right? Some people that have just a natural smiling face. Even with their resting face, it looks like they're happy and they're smiling. Yeah, that just makes somebody easier to they're more accessible, they're easier to approach, right? You look at a person like that and go think you wouldn't think, that person's dangerous or that person's going to be out to get me. 그 생각은 안 들 거잖아요. So I think that's why people might prefer, people that have those traits in their faces once again. So my question to you listeners was, what are some traits of people that you can think of that you believe, that you think, wow, if this person has this trait, specifically, once again, in their faces, you would think, I think that person is a rich / wealthy / successful person. I have one that I'd like to share. 저도 이런 분들 보면, 이런 트레이트 갖고 있는 사람들 보면, 이 사람 아마 성공한 / 성공할 수 있는 사람이다. People with great skin. 피부가 이렇게 좋은 편이면, I'm not saying 하얗다, right? I'm not saying everybody with light skin, but just great skin. It's glowing. They take the time to put on moisturizer, lotion, whatever oils that they need every morning and every night to get that natural glowing skin. To have that dedication every morning and every night, I would consider you as a wealthy person / successful person. Yeah, because you know you're dedicated. And especially if you're dedicating that time and effort to yourself, yeah, you're going to go a long way. 맞죠? So that's my opinion on what I think, a trait that people might have that I think that they would be successful in life. Let's get to a couple more messages. Let me get to... 토끼님 also had a message. 부자상 제가 알기론 두꺼비상 이래요. 예를 들어서 SS 컴퍼니의 Mr. Lee 아니면 우리 백 선생님 또 둘 다 두꺼비상이래요. 맞네요. Like, because I'm thinking Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, they're in America. 한국에서 부자상은 어떻게 될까? 그렇죠. 우리 SS 회사의 이 선생님이랑 우리 백 선생님 아시죠? 두꺼비상인가? 그렇죠. 백 선생님은 두꺼비상인 것 같은데 우리 Mr. Lee, 우리 이 사장님은 not so much of the 두꺼비상, but I think I know what you're talking about, 토끼님. 그럼 한국인들은 완전 opposite네요. 완전 반대. I mean, that is something that, we could go with. We also have, let's see, 예나님 saying, I think you're talking about me. 예나님 아닙니다. 절대로 아니에요. 그냥 그렇게 알고 있어서요. 까부짜구님 saying, Mark Zuckerberg has lizard people facial features. That's a conspiracy, right, 까부짜구님? A lot of people in the U.S. especially think like lizard people are like the ones running the country and later are going to rule the world. Maybe something about people with that kind of 느낌, that vibe. Keep those messages coming in. I see your messages. 재봉리님, you sent me an essay. Let me get to that a little later on our show when we have time, all right? Let's get to today's 인싸의학 with Dr. Liu. It's Tuesday. That means it's time for Dr. Liu's 인싸의학. Hi, Dr. Liu.
안녕하세요.
반갑습니다.
You know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm practicing my frog or some kind of a face.
Oh, I thought you were practicing blinking for some reason. So you're practicing your 두꺼비상?
Yeah, 두꺼비. Is 두꺼비 a frog or something?
Like a bullfrog.
Bullfrog. Oh, yeah.
네,
like
bullfrog.
bullfrog.
네. 근데 원장님 연습 안 하셔도 돼요.
왜?
안 하셔도 됩니다.
오케이.
이미 충분히 두꺼비상입니다. 두둥. 아니에요. Just kidding. Dr. Yu, thank you so much for coming. Also, Dr. Yu, let me ask you, as a person of science, as a person of medicine and science, do you consider yourself a person of medicine and science?
I think so.
Yeah? What do you think about 관상?
관상은 그런 거 이거 한국말로 할게요.
네.
그 40인가 어서 들었는데 40 이후의 관상은
네.
우리가 만드는 거다.
Oh, so past the age of 40, like you determine your 관상. So for some of our listeners that might not know what 관상 is face reading. So if past the age of 40, you determine your 관상, that means basically you could choose and you could make and shift whatever like look or facial structure and features that you have to match the 관상 that you want.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's medically, scientifically true. I think so.
Actually, are you referring to going under the knife?
No.
그렇죠. 의사한테 가서 고치는 거 그런 거 말하는 거 아니죠?
그런 건 아니고요. 왜냐면은 우리가 항상 when you smile, you have there's a science really trivial facts. When you laugh, when you smile from your heart, muscles involved in that facial expression are different from that you smile deliberately.
그건 맞는 것 같아요. I do think that's true.
Yeah.
Right?
And also when you smile, the wrinkles you make as you get age, that determines your facial reading. So when you smile a lot, your face might turn into very friendly and welcoming and then very gorgeous and very warm-hearted person's face you might have. But when you frown, when you're grumpy all the time, you might develop wrinkles that make you really ugly.
I see wrinkles as just a part of life.
A part of life, yeah.
It just goes to show you, wow, that person has experienced many things in their life. They must be wise, right? So that's how I see wrinkles. Whenever I see wrinkles on people's faces, it's not a flaw. I see it as just signs of a person being very wise and more experienced than me.
정말 공감해요. I couldn't agree with you more that because 이 진짜 제가 의사로서 의학 드라마를 보게 되면은 sometimes I get kicked out of some kind of artificially or some other unfit situation that the actors or actresses are performing. 그런 걸 보면서 그 드라마나 영화에서 저거는 실제로 맞지 않는데 그런 생각을 하면서 좀 약간 재미를 느끼는데요. 이게 제 직업을 속일 수 없는 게 이제 얼굴로 보게 되면 이제 I'm not a surgeon, but I know all those anatomies, you know, on our face and on some of the structures. So I can tell whether this person went through had their nose done or had their lips done. I can tell whether they did or not. 그런 거를 볼 때가 있는데 sometimes I feel really uncomfortable, but I can relate because as a doctor, I have to support them, and also I can see their kind of inner struggle or how kind of a traumatic some incidents or how kind of some inferiority or some of the demerits that they want to get over with.
Yeah.
이런 거를 갖다가 하는 거 볼 때 보면은 다 아름답고 다 좋은 귀한 존재인 것 같은 생각이 들긴 들어요.
Yeah. People, you know, of course, your patients, I'm sure, being very open of that fact with you. Well, thank you so much for sharing. But today, Kwansang is not going to be the focus of our segment with you. Oh, that's right. And before we get into our segment, we do always have to get to our regular corner that we have for your segment. Today's 아재 개그.
Oh yeah, what a coincidence because it's to do with our face.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, something to do with faces.
이거 한국말로 해야지 돼요.
네.
One of my kids, actually one of my favorite dishes, Korean dishes, seaweeds. 김구이 좋아하거든요. 김구이.
맛있죠.
Yes, 어렸을 땐 김구이를 좋아했는데 지금은 생김, raw 그냥 생 걸 좋아하시는데, not marinated.
네.
근데 김을 구우면 안 된대요.
왜요?
그 이유가 뭘까요?
김을 구우면 안 된다.
And that's to do with our face.
김을 구우면 안 된다.
김을
구우면 안 된다. 왜요? 왜 김을 구우면 안 돼요?
김이 죽은 게. 김이 is freckles. 죽은 게. Another term referring to 죽은 게.
맞아요. 두둥. 네. This one's a thinker. 이건 좀 생각해야 되네요.
네.
감사합니다,
네.
원장님.
네.
Now let's get to today's topic. What are we covering today?
Okay, I'm gonna cover hepatitis.
Hepatitis 간염.
예, 간염이에요, 간염.
네.
예, 간염인데, you know how many hepatitis types are there in the world? 많이 있죠.
많이 있는데, like there's three.
Yeah, there are three.
Like three main.
Yeah, three main.
A,
맞아요.
B, and C.
맞아요.
Right? So I know.
Yeah.
Because I think I've shared with our listeners before that in the past, I've had 간염, and I've been treated for it. I had to stay at a hospital for like 2-3 days. Yeah, because of it.
Okay.
Not the best time. Not it's
Was it
not,
hepatitis A or?
Whichever is the acute one and the one that just comes like suddenly.
A.
Yeah, and the one that's curable.
Yes, curable, and you can get it healed without any specific treatments. Just taking rest.
So hepatitis, 간염.
Yes.
I think, and what the doctor told me, because I was like, oh. So just, I don't know, this is not a spoiler. I'm sure this is something that you're going to cover. So just one day, all of a sudden, my eyes and like the lighter parts of my skin look so yellow, right? So I go, okay, definitely something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Right? So I went to the doctor, and the doctor, just by looking at me, it's probably 간염. It's probably hepatitis. Of course, we're going to do some tests, but it's probably that. You're gonna have to be on medicine for like 2 days. Now they just had me on the IV for like 2 days, and then the color eventually, the yellowing, like the yellow color eventually went away. And they did the final checkup and said I was okay. But then I was so worried at first because I've never seen anything like this in my life. And the doctor says, 일단 걱정하지 말라고.
Okay.
There are plenty of people that get it, have it, and are fine.
Okay, when was
afterwards.
it? Was it about 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
No, this was
recently.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
And was it itchy?
No, mine wasn't so. I don't think mine was itchy. What I felt was I felt pain in my stomach area.
Okay.
That's what set it off.
Okay.
And I first thought it was pain in my like. I first thought it was pain in my like diaphragm because it's like between your stomach and your chest. 이렇게 가슴이랑 그 배 사이에 이 space에서 I thought something was wrong with my diaphragm. Like, did I eat wrong? Am I breathing wrong or something? But then doctor did checks.
Okay.
It was my, what was it? My
liver function test.
Yeah, liver that was
their liver
swollen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is the place where our liver is seated.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I realized, 간이 거기 있구나. That's how I found out. But yeah, hepatitis, 간염, very, I don't want to say very common, but common here in Korea, right?
예, 간염인데요.
네.
이게 감기일 수가 있는데요. 우리나라는 Korea is very famous for K-pop and K-wave and things like that.
네.
And when it comes to medicine, we are famous for the high prevalence of tuberculosis. I did cover this topic last year.
Yeah.
And then Korea is famous for hepatitis A. The reason is what's particular is this hepatitis A is pretty common in developing countries.
Why is that?
Because it's to do with poor hygiene.
저는 근데 저 깨끗하다고 생각하는데.
깨끗하다고 생각하죠.
네.
근데 또 그게 있어요. 우리 during the COVID lockdown period, people didn't get to mingle with other friends and family members, some other people. So our immune system was a little bit kind of 우물안 개구리. 예, 그래서 our immune system hadn't experienced other immunity against some other germs.
Yeah.
That's why our immune system got weakened. 그래서 when I was young, I used to play with a lot of dirts. And then 라떼는 말이죠. 막 손도 막 엄청 더럽고 막 손도 안 씻고 밥도 먹고 그리고 화장실에 가서 변도 잘 안 닦고 그랬던 시절이 있었고 비대는 말도 없었고 말도 안 됐었고요.
네.
또 어렸을 때 할머니 집에 갔을 때 할아버지 집에 갔을 때 휴지가 없었고 휴지 대신 신문지를 갖다가 꾸깃꾸깃해가지고 그걸로 하시는 적이 있었거든요.
네.
근데 그렇게 되다 보면 when you're exposed, you got to experience, get yourself exposed to a lot of germs.
Sure.
That your immune might have a lot of experience and might have produced a lot of immunity, a lot of weapons.
That's what they say. Kids from long time ago, because we're exposed to like almost everything. That's why you develop your immune system. You get sick, you get better. You get sick, you get better. But during that time, your immune system continues to learn more about infections and bacteria and viruses that you become a stronger person later on.
그렇죠. 근데 이제 요즘 젊은 사람들은 너무나 깨끗하고 우리가 많이 문명화된 we are living in a very civilized society. That's why we didn't have the chance to get ourselves exposed to this kind of a lot of germs. So that's why we become a little bit picky eater when it comes to viral infection. That's why we sometimes these days a lot of younger generations experience this kind of hepatitis A virus. The reason why I brought up this topic is that the symptoms are pretty much similar to the regular flu symptoms.
Really?
Yeah, in the first place. Until you experience jaundice. That's the stage 2 of hepatitis A virus.
Okay.
Yeah. 처음에는 감기 증상이랑 똑같아요.
네.
그래서 우리 얼마 전에 뉴스를 보니까 감기 환자들이 많은데 그 중에서 의외로 헤파타이티스 A가 많은 터. 그다음에 전디스가 황달이 있는 사람도 있고 없는 사람도 있고.
저는 왔어요.
네, 황달이 왔었죠. 그러면 우리 헤파타이티스 간염에 대해서 간단하게 설명을 드릴게요. 헤파타이티스는 아까 전에 ABC가 있는데 엄밀히 말하면 여러분들 다 알 필요는 없지만 이건 알아두면 좋아요. There are 5 types of hepatitis. A, B, C, D, E가 있어요.
E까지 있어요?
예, E까지 있어요. 근데 A하고 E는 이렇게 하면 돼. A is oral and E is anal. 그래서 A하고 E는 먹는 것. It's to do those two viruses to do with poor hygiene. 근데 B, C, D는 가운데 있잖아요.
네.
그래서 B, C, D는 피로 감염이 되는 거예요. 그러니까 A하고 E는 처음과 끝이니까
네.
손 안 씻고 먹는 걸로나 아니면 항문으로 감염이 되는 것이고
네.
B, C, D는 blood, 피로 되는 거인데 피로 감염이 되는 경우는 타투죠. contaminated needle using 그래서 아니면은 transfusion, blood transfusion이라든지 이런 거 아니면 using some illegal drugs or 이런 not septic, septic drugs, not septic 그런 septic이라는 말이 이제 균이 감염된 contaminated 바늘 같은 거 있었을 때요.
That's why when I told my friends in the U.S. that I had hepatitis a couple years ago, because in the U.S. I'm sure people that know of hepatitis, they would think, there are various reasons that you could get it. But, people that might not know too much of the condition, they think, hepatitis? And they automatically think like a sexually transmitted disease, right? Because you mentioned BCD is the way you contract it is through like contamination and it gets in contact with your blood.
That's right.
Right? But then you mentioned even like eating foods that are contaminated, right? So hepatitis A being the most common, I think here in Korea too. Yeah, if you just eat something wrong or that's contaminated, that's also something that you get hepatitis from. So I think, hopefully more and more people get rid of the notion that hepatitis is only a sexually transmitted disease.
No.
Yeah.
I told you the other day when it comes to HIV, when you have a normal sexual intercourse with your spouse or some other partners, and then the chances you might have HIV is less than 1%. So 그렇게 BCD가 피로 전염된다 그래가지고 뭐 다른 리스키한 비해입으로 된다는 걸로 생각을 하는 건 안 좋을 것 같아요. 여러 가지 있는데 여하간 그러면 why the other reason why we Koreans our younger generations are having contracting these hepatitis A is 옛날에는 그 헤파타이티스가 많았고 그래서 포 하이진이어서 백시네이션이 됐었는데요. 요즘에는 우리가 없어졌다고 생각을 했었거든요. 근데 그게 이제 요즘에 다시 드러나게 된 거죠. 타이티스. 갑자기 제가 문자를 받는데요.
네, 우리 재봉리님한테 문자 왔는데요. 박사님, 질환들 이름에 왜 아이티스가 많이 붙는지 궁금해요라고. 맞습니다.
ITS가 염증을 말하는 거예요.
Inflammation.
inflammation, 염증. 그래서 맹장염, 충수둘기염은 appendicitis.
맞아요.
cholangitis 하면은 이제 담낭염, peritonitis 하면 복막염, 뭐 있죠. cellulitis 하면은 연부 조직염, itis 이런 거죠.
Yeah, so itis meaning inflammation.
Inflammation.
So it's a disease characterized by inflammation.
그렇죠, inflammation. 그래서 여하간 여러분들 그 요즘에 결국은 it all boils down to one thing. Maintain a clear hygiene. Wash your hands, especially after your bowel movement and some other stuff. And then don't lick a finger. 근데요, 사람은 신기한 게요. 하지 말라 그러면 하고 싶을 경향이 많이 있어요.
맞습니다.
Yeah, there's a living proof that
living proof is my daughter.
Yeah, I was going to say my son.
네. 애들은 하지 말라고 하면 이거 like 이렇게 머리가 돌거든요. 하지 말라고 하면 my daughter 이렇게 하지 말라고 하는 이유가 있는데 아마 내가 좋아할 거라서 계속 할 거라서 하지 말라고 하나 더 궁금해져요. 애들이.
또 other things when you get a kind of a scratch on your dorsum of your hand. dorsum is 여기죠. 손등에. 그럴 때 이제 after in the healing process of the later stage of recuperation, you might develop scabs.
네.
이 딱지가 지죠 검게. 그럼 딱지를 가만 놔둘까요? 계속 뜯을까요?
뜯죠. 저도 지금 어린인데 많이 건들니다. 많이 긁고 많이 만져요.
When you pimple, you couldn't help but touching your face.
분명히 저도 만지지 말라고 하는데 저였으면 만질 것 같아요. 근데 Doctor, I have a question then. So I had jaundice, right? When I had hepatitis. What if I left it alone?
그렇죠. 대부분은 in most cases 이게 healed over time. Just
so
wait it
goes
out.
away?
Yes, it goes away by itself. 하지만 1 in 1,000 cases it might go into fulminant라는 거는 irreversible hepatic failure. 즉 돌아올 수 없는 hepatic failure가 가거든요. In that situation, you might require liver transplantation. 간을 이식받는 거죠.
네.
근데 간을 이식받는 것에 대해서 좀 하나 트리비어한 아주 재미있는 의학적인 상식이 있는데요. 간은 자르잖아요. 자르고 상대방한테 주면은 상대방 간이 자라고 내 간도 자라요.
Interesting.
그래서 자라다가 딱 그 간 사이즈가 딱 되면 딱 멈춰요.
Really?
Like a reptile's tail.
Yeah, if you cut it off, it goes back,
lizard,
right?
yes, it comes backwards. It comes
Interesting.
back again.
Is the liver the only organ that is able to do that?
그래서 이 원리랑 이거 메커니즘을 아는 사람은 노벨상은 따놓은 거죠.
Yeah, that's because I have heard of people giving like a quarter, a third, maybe even like up to like half of their liver, donated their liver to somebody.
저도 3분의 1인지 4분의 1인지 모르지만 주게 되면은 그게 또 자라고 내 것도 자라고.
Interesting.
그렇죠.
Okay.
놀랍죠.
So, like I said, I had jaundice. Basically, my skin was yellow. My eyes were yellow. Even my my urine was like a totally different color. It was like almost like an orange.
네, 대변 색깔도 그렇고.
Yeah. So I'm sure if you see any of those signs, then you might want to go into the hospital. You mentioned one. I don't want people to hear this. Oh, 1 in 1,000 chance. Then I'm willing to take that chance. But still, I think going to the hospital and seeing a professional about it is probably a safer way to go about it, right?
It's always safe. Better to be safe than sorry.
네.
You don't want to risk your life when it comes to doing some very controllable things.
Sure. Yeah.
그렇죠.
And so you would go to the hospital, and then what? They would just give you like for me, I just got IV of various medicine for 2 days, and I was fine afterwards. Is that usually treatment?
그렇죠. 근데 놀라운 건요.
네.
우리가 먹는 음식, every food we consume, every tablet we take, they have to go through this gate. This is the gate of our bloodstream, our digestive material, which is liver. So 그래서 간을 위한 약이라는 거는 간을 쉬게 해주는 거예요. 좀 자극적인 거나 몸에 안 좋은 걸 안 먹고 약을 최대한대로 줄이고. 그래서 의사들이 주는 그러한 플루이드에는 약이 뭐냐면 다 그냥 영양제예요, 대부분. 예.
혹시 간염 재발될 수 있습니까?
Oh, in rare cases. Hepatitis A comes back, but once you contract the virus, you might develop immunity against hepatitis A virus. But in rare cases, there are some group of people might contract it again.
Okay.
So 다시 재발하는 경우가 있죠.
Then what if you've never had 간염, hepatitis? Is there a vaccine for it?
그렇죠. 백신을 맞으면 되는데 A하고 B에 대해서는 백신인데 C에 대해서는 아직까지는 없거든요. 그래서 A하고 B를 맞으면 되는데 궁금하면은 병원이나 아니면 보건소나 우리나라는 have easy access to medical facilities. You can get yourself vaccinated.
네.
쉽게 백신을 맞을 수 있습니다.
Okay. So today for 인싸의학 covering 간염, hepatitis, specifically hepatitis A. Right? Because I'm sure B and then all the way to E, I'm sure symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment, they're all for probably a little different for each one.
That's
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
There are some other medicines that are that cure almost 95% of hepatitis C virus when it comes. About 20 years ago, we don't have any medicine for curing hepatitis C virus. Once you contract hepatitis C virus, we would say, "Oh, poor you, your life is not the number of your calendar is numbered." Is that right? Yeah, things
Your
like
days
that.
are numbered.
Your days are numbered. 이 죽을 날 얼마 안 남았으니까 조심해라 그렇게는 했는데요. 20년 전에 지금은 이제 C 바이러스나 B 바이러스 약이 있어서 정말 그 과학의 발달, 의학의 발달을 보게 되고 공부하기 바쁩니다.
네. Good to know. Dr. Yu, thank you so much for today's 인싸의학, and thank you for, answering the questions of some of our listeners over on the YouTube. You have yourself a good night. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Yeah, next week.
네, 수고했습니다.
네.
Let's take a quick song break. This is JT, Justin Timberlake, Selfish.
They saw what I saw. They would fall the way I felt, but they don't know what you want. And baby, I would never tell. If they knew what I know, they would never let you go. So guess what? I ain't never letting you go, 'cause your lips were made for mine, and my heart would go flatline if it wasn't beating for you all the time. So if I get jealous, I can't help it. I want every bit of you. I guess I'm selfish. It's bad for my mental, but I can't fight it when you're out looking like you do, but you can't hide it. No, put you in a frame, oh baby, who could blame you? Glad your mama made you, making me insane. You cannot be explained. Ooh, you must be an angel. Every time the phone rings, I hope that it's you on the other side. I wanna tell you everything, everything that's on my mind, and I don't want any other guys taking my place, girl. I got too much pride. I know I may be wrong, but I don't wanna be right, 'cause your lips were made for mine, and my heart would go flatline if it wasn't beating for you all the time. So if I get jealous, I can't help it. I want every bit of you. I guess I'm selfish. It's bad for my mental, but I can't fight it when you're out looking like you do, but you can't hide it. No, put you in a frame, oh baby, who could blame you? Glad your mama made you.
푸짐한 선물을 원하십니까? 인싸의학 부산이 준비한 소중한 선물. Full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. 런지 10세트. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 회원님 끝까지 집중하셔야 돼요. 언제나 마시는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery. Coffee voucher and a pack. A fresh coffee whole beans. Sponsored by Into Roaster in 양산. 운동 중인데 향이 좋네요. 자, 회원님 다음 암풀다운 핫돌. A delicious meal voucher from Gorilla Brewing Busan, 광안 branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 자, 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. 자, 회원님 마지막 덤벨 85kg. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 끝까지 해야 됩니다. 끝까지. 자, 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 회원님 수고하셨습니다. 네, 재밌는 방송 IOB와 함께 선물은 덤으로 지금 바로 참여하세요. 후하 후하.
All right, time for our final segment of the day, quote unquote. And today's quote unquote actually is brought to you by one of our listeners. 우리 재봉리님 over on our YouTube shared with us a very fitting, I think, poem / writing by one of the most renowned writers and authors, Ralph Waldo Emerson. 재봉님, thank you so much. I'm actually going to use, I don't know if it's a poem or just a writing that Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, but I'm going to use that for today's quote unquote. Now, this is titled, What is Success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So this quote by Emerson, it shows his view that success is not solely about material achievements or social status. It doesn't even matter what you look like, what your kwansang is, right? Instead, it's about the positive impact one has on others and the world. So to Emerson, success is finding joy in life's simple pleasures, laughing often, right? Although laughing often, smiling is a trait of wealthy and successful people. Earning the respect and love from those around you, dealing with both praise and betrayal, and doing it gracefully. Contributing positively to the world and the communities, whether through big or small acts, and helping others and making their lives better. So in essence, Emerson's view of success is, it's very holistic. It's also very deeply humanistic, focusing on emotional and spiritual richness and success rather than material wealth or even just like recognition from other people. And if everybody in the world thought like this, right, would we have like gaps, when it comes to just social gaps, right? I feel like everybody would be more on par with one another and even put in the effort to do so. So let's live a life, that Emerson has, kind of laid out for us, described for us in his writing, What is Success? Much thanks to Jaebong Lee-님 for the recommendation to use as today's quote unquote. And that will do it for today's show. A big thank you to everybody over on our YouTube, everybody on our text message and our Kakao Talks, as well as those on our radios. Thank you so much for listening to me. Enjoy your night. Our last track of the day, this one's by Naal, titled Heaven. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin, and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Everybody, have a good one.
참 놀라워 everlasting life